T black jewelry. I know I stand out, I don't need to try for it. I'm jacked on limelight if you don't think you're hate quick. I tell them catch me if you can, hope some gingerbread. Oh, I never ride solo. It's me and my chick looking like slow-mo.
Yo, guys, what's going on, man? This is Vince Bugs down here in Tampa, Florida. We got Andrea on. We're going to talk about a little fitness, talk about why people are struggling these days. Gut health is another thing that we want to touch base on. But Andrea, how are you doing today?
I'm doing good, Coach. How are you?
Hey, I'm surviving. It's like everything in life. I was in the gym today. You guys were over there working out, and the funny thing was happening was everybody was talking about gut health and visceral fat. And it seems like people over 40, the visceral fat thing is becoming more and more, pregnant and inflammation. So, kind of give everybody a background on your life history there in sports and coaching.
Yeah. So, athletics has always been something big in our household. I grew up playing sports. The nutrition thing, that has also been something that was very important growing up, but not realizing until I was an adult how much information there is out there and what things we thought was okay back then are not okay now. The big shift for me was a couple years ago. My husband was diagnosed pre-diabetic, and his whole life thought he was healthy. Like, he went to play college football, always in good shape, always in the gym, but he didn't know what his glucose was looking like.
Right.
We both got our blood work done, and he was like, "Oh my God, I do not want to be on medicine. Like, I can fix this." So we did a little research. He did some reading, read the book by the Glucose Goddess, and just did some changes with our lifestyle that really, he basically reversed his pre-diabetic diagnosis. I did it with him, the lifestyle change. I don't like using the word diet because it's not a fad. But I went on this new lifestyle change with him in solidarity. Like, we weren't able to go have like our weekly little ice creams and, not having like a midnight bowl of cereal and producing like the chips and all that. And I ended up losing 25 pounds. And
Wow.
I've been able to maintain that weight off because it's a lifestyle change. It's not like, oh, I need to lose 10 pounds for a vacation. It's a complete shift in how you live your life and what you put in and out of your body.
So yeah, you're Latino. How the hell are you gonna just get away from, like all that great food? You got the Cuban food, you got the Puerto Rican food, you got the Brazilian. How do you just navigate away from that?
It's hard. I will say there's things that you could do that still, make you feel like you're enjoying those delicious, delightful cuisines that are not very good for your gut. I didn't give up avocado.
Okay.
That's a good healthy fat. You don't have to give up the meat. Like, I can still season my meat with the mojo and do all the delicious seasonings that are very much Caribbean, but it's the rice, making sure.
That's what I was gonna say. Let's talk about the rice.
Portion control. Like, I'm not going and making myself like a big old plate of rice and making that the focus of my meal. Like, if I do have rice, it's going to be half a cup of cooked jasmine rice, and I end up having it the following day instead of having it fresh, because something happens when you put it in the refrigerator and eat it the next day. It reduces the starch count, which essentially affects your sugar. Wow. And then, making sure that protein is the main focus of my meal every time I eat. Go ahead.
So I mean to cut you off real quick, but you said that you played sport. What sports did you play?
I played soccer and golf.
Okay, I can go. Oh, you must be a River Hills kid now.
No. This was back in Miami.
My question is, you have different stations set up at the Crunch Gym for people to come in. Now, people come in with different they come in different sizes, shapes, different health, different health conditions. How do you kind of balance that when you set up your workstations? Because I was noticing that there is massive variances in body types.
Right. So I always try and make sure that I'm including different types of gym goers, whether it be somebody who is an avid gym person that they've been going for years and they're very familiar with the formats and their body form. And I also want to cater to people that are coming into the gym at the first time. These group fitness classes, they can go by pretty quickly, but as long as you are focusing on modifying exercises for those new gym goers, so that way they don't feel like they're going in and like overexerting themselves and then they never want to come back because they're like, I want to make sure that they leave not hurt, but sore, and they're like, dang, that was such a good workout. I can't wait to go back to the class. So, you know, making sure that I put out a different, like a variety of different weights, like I'll put heavier weights for like the more experienced people, and then lighter weights for somebody who's coming into the gym for their first time. I also make sure that if there is like an exercise that requires like a push-up, like you can do a modified version. We don't like calling them girl push-ups because I could do a regular push-up.
Are you talking about on the knees, right? On the knees, right?
A modified push-up, which I've seen some dudes do that. You know, it takes a lot of upper body strength to be able to do, you know, 5 or 10 of those in a row. So modifying the exercises to make it not seem so unapproachable for somebody who's doing, you know, a group fitness class for the first time. And it's a HIIT class. Is that the HIIT class is a format that I teach, which is a high intensity interval training. So we mix up a lot of strength training with cardio. I love teaching these classes because I can kind of pick and choose like the level of cardio that we do. And I try and stick a lot more towards strength training, but I always like to incorporate cardio because, you know, when you go outside and you try and do a couple laps and you're like, oh my God, I can't even.
So the one thing I would like to ask you is, so before people sign up for a class, do they do an evaluation sheet so you kind of know what you're getting when they come in? Because I noticed that you got a packed class, you know, everybody's in, everybody, the 5 a.m. gym crew's in there. But I noticed is that they come in, so you kind of have to have kind of a heads up, because I also noticed that some people that look, they may have had some respiratory issues, or they may struggle. So I like the fact that you use the word modification, because a lot of people have bad knees, that most people over 40 or 50 are carrying some, bad knees, even though they may be in shape. So you do a little bit of a gauging on what they're doing, and then you go over and help them and modify it.
Yes, absolutely. So before the class even starts, I do a walkthrough of all the stations. And I always say, like, hey, if this is a little bit too difficult for you, like, this is the modified version. So I'll give both techniques, for anybody who feels like they might struggle with that specific exercise. But the entire time that the class is going, I go around and make sure that everyone's form is good. And I tell them, I'm like, listen, take this class, even though it's a high intensity, slow and low, because you go fast and you're swinging weights around, that's how you can really hurt yourself. And I grew up with knee issues. I tore my ACL in high school while I was playing soccer, so I know all about the knee struggle. It's been over 20 years with having to rehab my knee, and we could
that's a whole knee drain, all that. I'm going in for knee replacement. So you preaching to the choir right now.
I know it. And that's another thing too with diet, but that's another conversation too. I don't want to go all over the place, but yeah, I mean, I always look at people's form in class. So if I ever feel like, hey, oh, look, let's drop the weight a little bit. It seems like you're trying to compensate for how heavy the weight is, and it's going to you're going to end up pulling something. So let's drop the weight, go slow. Like, actually that weight might be good for you, but let's just slow down a little bit. So you're actually focusing on your form, making sure to breathe through the exercises. I notice a lot of people, when they're like trying to exert themselves, they tend to hold their breath, and that you could really hurt yourself. Even you could pass out or like strain a muscle, because you're not breathing through the exercise. So yeah, I try and make it
breathing is a big technique. So let me ask you what's your training methodology? Okay, because you were an athlete, and so and I make this disclaimer all the time, and I hear people say, well, such and such played in the NFL or such and such played in the NBA, but they're a horrible coach. And I tell everybody that transition from athlete to coach is not for everybody, because there's just certain things of philosophy, charismatic, just getting people involved in that leadership thing, and because you're a ball of energy in the gym. So how do you what's your kind of your philosophy when you get up in the morning and you got that class to put on? How do you you get yourself wired up? Because every day you cannot be at the ball of energy. You wake up, I just say that, but you wake up and be that motivated. so you could pass that on to the people that are going to be working out with you then?
Well, I didn't start doing this because I wanted money. It was more so it became a hobby and something that I loved doing, and I love meeting new people. I think the first thing that really helped me learn how to talk to people and get comfortable with leading the classes, I was like, let me have a relationship with these people first. Like I'm not in there to try and change somebody's life on day one. Hey, how you doing? My name's Andrea. Nice to meet you. You know, getting to know people on a personal level where they feel comfortable with you, you know, so that way you can crack those jokes and not be like, oh, that person, that, you know, that was kind of weird. They're kind of weird. I'm a little bit of a goofball, but getting to know people on a personal level, like, oh, how's your kid doing? Like, oh, you know, they graduated. How was that vacation you went on? When you build relationships with people in the gym, I feel like they become like a second family to you, you know.
Right.
And I love the community that I've built at the gym, and you know, I spend so much time there that it's, if you don't get to know these people's first name on the first name basis and you're teaching, you know what I mean? Like I get excited to teach classes because I'm like, I'm about to whoop my family's butt in the gym today. And when they're huffing and puffing and they leave sweating, I am so happy and they're so happy. So to me, just love what you do. If you're good at something, you know, and you like helping people, like I think that it works out on its own.
So how do you handle like difficult clients that come in? Because I don't know if you do. I know you do some training on the side, but that's like your normal little tribe that you guys have that works out. But how do you handle that? You know, you get a class, and I'm sure you've been doing it for a while, that you've had some people come in and they've been kind of difficult or few and far between, but they do show up.
Oh yes,
so how do you kind of moderate that or handle that when you get in those situations? You know.
I actually had a newbie a few weeks ago that having a rough morning. You know, I made her feel very engaged and involved, and I asked her and I called her by her first name as soon as she walked into the turf area. I introduced myself. I was like, "Hi, I'm Andrea. I'm the instructor. Like, welcome to class." I usually, when I see a new face, the first thing I do is walk right over to them, especially if they get there while I'm still setting up. And you know, introduce myself, kind of give them a brief like run through of the class format, so they're hearing it then a second time when I'm explaining it to everybody, just so they're not like lost or confused. But she just seemed like she was not having a good day, like she didn't even want to be there. But I was like, I am nice, and you are gonna see my niceness always. I don't show out in the gym, like that's, you know, my place of enjoyment. So I was not having a good day, and I was just so, you know, I kept my cool. She seemed like she was not happy to be there, but by the end of class, she was like, "Thank you, that was a nice class," even though she still had the look of not happy about being there. But she thanked me because I made sure that I wasn't gonna like blow her off, because you know her vibe or her aura was not of
right.
You know, it was the complete opposite of mine. I'm always like bright-eyed and pushy-tailed even at 5 o'clock in the morning because I love going to the gym. But you know, by the end of class, like I said, she thanked me, and she didn't come back. But
give an example of like someone that came in, you put some time into them, and then, you know, months later, years later, whatever, you get a card or something, and you change that person's life, that did it, and how it had an impact on you as a person.
Yeah, there's a couple people that I've shared a lot of my lifestyle changes with. Like I'm talking about like sending them like long format emails of like, this is what I do like on a daily basis, and this is what I've been able to maintain, like the lifestyle change that I've done. And I get calls almost every single day by the end of like maybe like around 11 or 12 the following day after class, and it's like, I can't move my legs. I just want to thank you so much. Your classes are the best. And these are people that take classes in other gyms,
right,
other instructors, but the ones that like you have like a personal relationship, and not that I knew these people before I even started teaching. These were people that I met as their instructor, that now we do competitions together, you know, we'll go and hang out outside of the gym, you know. And it's nice to have these relationships with my close group of friends at the gym. they're so wonderful. We uplift each other because I'll see them working out and doing similar workouts that I taught them in class. So I'm like, okay, they obviously like that on the days that I'm not teaching, they're trying to do it at home, or they're trying to do it at the gym by themselves. I actually took one of my days, I took a Friday off a few weeks ago because I was out of town. And at the end of every class, I make everybody do like about 50 squats, and we play a specific song. I'm sure you've heard it. They all got together on the day that I didn't teach, and they literally played the song by themselves, and they did the squat challenge while I was not there. And I was like,
that's right.
That's it.
How do you stay current in your training? So do you go talk to other instructors? Do you go, is there like some special like coaching clinic you guys go to? So how do you stay current? Because even with me coaching football, I'm constantly having to refresh, because this generation is so different, refresh my thought process, refresh how I approach the same things we've been doing. It's funny. It's the same things they've been doing for hundreds of years, but I have to approach it differently because just the clients are just different. The players are different. So how are you as a professional? How do you keep your A game? How do you work on your craft?
So we do Crunch is the gym that I have my license hung at. We do quarterly training. So, and a lot of them are targeted towards like a specific class. So it could be either a spin, it could be yoga, it could be Pilates, it could be HIIT. I usually do the ones that are obviously focused on my HIIT classes, where they show like new exercises on how to help your class attendees like have good format. And honestly, social media has been huge when it comes to finding out new exercises. What I really like to do nowadays is doing combination moves. So 2 exercises that you would definitely, think would be 2 separate exercises now, are a combination move. Those are so fun for me to find. Like the other day, one of the exercises I had today was a gorilla roll mixed with a kettlebell swing. And I'm like, you would never have thought to like put those 2 exercises together, and then you combine them, and everybody in class was like, oh, I really like those. So just keeping up with, your favorite gymfluencers, which I'm guilty of stalking a bunch of gymfluencers on social media, especially the ones that have like an amazing before and after story. I love that, because we get all, obsessive over these personas online that half the time they're photoshopped or airbrushed.
Fake. So, all right. So I'm going to pick on you now. So I'm glad you brought it up. So I look at I'm saying with you, I look at a lot of media, fitness, social influencers and sports social influencers. So why haven't you, and so where are you going in the future? Are you going to build a separate IG page that's, Andrea's fit for you or whatever, and get that brand out there? Because here's the thing is, you got a big following at Crunch. And I think opportunity wise, as a professional in this world, like we are on this podcast, I see you being able to expand your reach as a fitness person. And I had like that to separate both of my pages from my business page and my professional page. But I think with the following that you have, do you think you're going to ever do that and start Andrea Clark Incorporated?
I mean, that's the eventual goal. Right now, I want to focus on myself, building myself, my picking up some more classes. Hoping to do that within the next couple months. We'll see. Maybe change up some formats, pick up some
at the same gym. Yeah.
Yes.
Hey, so fitness, you did talk about that. So what are you, what are the things what do you do for yourself, for your own self fitness? And that's everything from mental to the physical aspects to enjoyment, the rest side. So kind of walk us through, like, as Andrea Clark, what do you do in self fitness, or what are the 3 pillars? It's mental, physical, and spiritual. What are they?
Definitely mental health is huge. Like if you're not in the right mindset, like cortisol is going to be messed up. That's going to make us fat. Like we don't want that. We want to be in a right mental state to be able to, really focus on what you're overall goals are. My goals are to be as healthy as possible, be happy, and be in shape.
Right.
Healthy from within, making sure that I'm eating right, treating my body like it's the most important thing in the whole entire world, and that I want to be strong and healthy for my kids when I'm in my 90s, clear and healthy, and I want to be physically strong so that way I can take care of myself when I'm in my 90s. It's all about health and
Right.
your exercise, your nutrition and all that. But then of course you also want to be happy. Like I take my days for rest, and those are for me just like I want to veg out. Today is like I really had a really long week. It's nice to just be able to unplug and unwind, maybe just sit down on the couch and watch a couple movies with the family. But then I also like going out and getting, my weekly like 6 mile bike ride. I ride bike every day, but like I won't do like a super long bike ride until the weekends, when the weather's nice. I have a nice neighborhood where I can ride bike and not feel like I'm going to get hit by a car.
Well, yeah, this is Florida, where no bike lanes.
Right, exactly. I ride on the sidewalk because I'm just too scared to do it. And then of course going to the gym, like that's a given. Like I wake up in the morning, Monday through Friday, and I am at the gym 5 a.m.
And what's your spiritual? And so what do you do on your spiritual side?
Definitely. I read the Bible with my little one every night. So that's our bedtime reading. We got this for Christmas a few years ago. He got it's called the Action Bible. So it's almost like a comic book version of
right.
The
Bible. Yeah. Hey, you know what?
Keep a 9-year-old attention.
That's right. Anything to keep them motivated, because I think it's a struggle. So let me ask you a couple of questions before we get out of here. It's like, as you've progressed and seen the changes in America when it comes to obesity, with the different things with A1C, and COVID kind of woke everybody up. And I think the biggest struggle during COVID was they never really addressed that the majority of the people that were passing away weren't passing away because they weren't unhealthy. They were passing away because they had pre-existing condition, because COVID was a respiratory condition. And when you carrying too much weight, or you have a weak immune system, then if you get a common cold, it can actually, cause you, death. So how do you kind of, sit around and when you're with clients and you see that some people that could be possibly at risk, do you ever sit down and take the time to kind of just talk to them? Because long-term, I've learned over the years is that we don't talk enough to people that, because we have this body positivity thing. I ain't gonna knock it, but it is what it is. But it's also led a lot of people to be misinformed about their health, being healthy, being able to get yourself healthy.
Yeah, I feel like body positivity is not the same thing as it's okay to be unhealthy. Like I feel like that can be used as a scapegoat, which body positivity is being comfortable in your skin. I have stretch marks, I have cellulite, you know what I mean? But I'm in shape, I'm happy with my body.
I'm comfortable in my skin, right?
Exactly. That doesn't necessarily mean that I'm okay with putting junk in my body. That's not what body positivity is. And I feel like that's where it got misconstrued and confused.
Right.
But as far as people in the gym, like I'm not going to approach somebody who is, could be potentially diabetic or have, some health issues and be like, this is what I think you should eat. Like I never want to approach anybody and make them feel like, oh, like this is like too much. I want to build a relationship with that person. I want to be able to have a confident and comfortable conversation with somebody where they feel like they can feel confident and comfortable enough to ask me what my routine is, because I get asked that all the time, even from people that don't take my class, but they see me on a daily basis at the gym, and they've seen the transformation that I've been able to shift in my physique over the past couple of years because of the changes in my nutrition, where they come up to me and they're like, hey, do you mind if I ask like what your daily meal is, or like what have you done to change your body, and I feel like a lot of them are surprised when I say I didn't take a shot or I didn't take a magic pill, and they're like, oh, okay, so you actually, it is nutrition and diet, or nutrition and exercise. And it's like, yeah, we have our own magic pill. It's your brain making sure that you are strong enough, and how bad do you want it is what I always say. Like you always are your own biggest critic. Like, do I want to be the person that goes to the beach in her swimsuit and just be like, this is body positivity because I worked my off, you know what I mean?
And to get there, hold up. If you had to look at yourself back in high school, the person you were in high school, and then the person you are today, what would you tell your younger self now? That's a better question.
Put the French fries down. French fries down.
So that was it. So hey, put the fries down. Hey,
put the French fries down. Drink more water.
Yeah.
Get more sleep.
So I mean, because you know, with women, I think the one thing is acne, menopause. So before we get out, really touch on, so women that are starting to go through menopause and are starting to have body changes, what advice would you strongly give it, you know, if they need to go get tests, get their blood regulated? What, because most people by the time they get 50, they start going through that transition. So, you know, if you could give some advice that may be helpful to somebody that listens to this show and say, hey, these are some of the things you might want to look at, even though you may not be there yet, but I'm sure you deal with enough clients that are going through it.
Your body speaks to you when it comes to stuff that you put in your body. Obviously, there's going to be the requirement or need for medical intervention if you're having, like, you know, crazy hormone issues or things that are just like outside of the ordinary. But I have noticed that since I started eating clean and really just focusing on what I put in my body, that on the days that I do decide to have a little cheat meal, I feel like crap. The next day, it's like,
right.
Oh, finally, like I am so in touch with what my body wants and needs that on the days that I give it junk, the next day I'm just like in rough shape. I'll have joint pain, inflammation, all that. There's so much out there as far as information on natural ways to really cope with hormone imbalance, inflammation, fatigue, energy. And it all boils down to the food that's on God's green earth. Is you need your protein, you need your veggies, you need your sleep, and you need your water. Stay away from stuff that's in a bag. Like, that's number one. Clear out your pantry. Get rid of all the chips. Get rid of all the cookies. Get rid of all the soda. Anything that's going to, you know, possibly be considered, what's the word I'm looking for? Processed. Stay away from it. Those are known hormone disruptors. There's so much junk in it. If you can't pronounce what's on the label, like, it's not doing anything good for you. And then I look back at how I was eating a couple years ago, and I was like, oh, you know, I can afford it. I'll be at the gym tomorrow. But it's like, I was plateaued. I was basically burning off a portion of what I ate the day before.
Wow.
Whereas now it's like I'm using the food that I put in my body as fuel, not as I'm just burning it off and I'm just like there, I'm plateaued, like I can't move anymore, or I won't lose any more weight, or I'm not seeing any more muscle gains. Now it's like every time I sit down and I have my meal, I'm thinking about, how is this going to affect me tomorrow? How is this going to affect me a year from now? How is this going to affect me 2 years from now? You know, so it's a real mind shift. Like, you have to really like think about how, yeah, okay, I'll have a couple cookies. That's not that bad. But then it's like, okay, well, I'm going to do that again in like 2 or 3 days. And it just starts adding up. And then you think about your gut. That's also connected to it's mental and gut health is like, they're connected. So you're putting crap in your body. Your brain's not going to be functioning at its highest, you know,
level. No, you're right. And the key thing is it's a lifestyle change. And for a lot of people, sadly, that is actually a struggle, because you're talking about a massive shift. But you know what? You can do it gradually. It doesn't mean you have to do it. Yeah, I tell people all the time, you just don't have to shift all at once, but you just take one thing away. Like, I had to wean off sugar, right? So I slowly pushed myself off and get ready for the competition. Yeah. 6 months later, I wasn't eating anything with sugar in it. You know, I was just like, boom. But my palate changed too, because I learned that your palate does change once you can get rid of the craving.
It does. I literally stopped drinking soda, and I had a sip of one, like maybe 4 months into like completely cutting them off. And I was like, let me have a little sip. Let me see what I've been missing. And I felt like I was going to get a cavity. I was like, oh God. Sure. I was like, this is what people drink on a regular basis. This tastes like I'm drinking maple syrup. Like, no.
And so, Andrea, I appreciate you coming on. Keep it rolling. And and hold up. So let me get. I got to do my station. My station, do it, whatever they call it, identification thing. Hey, so guys, Hey, check out Grayson's Clothing. They give a discount for teachers, first responders, and military. So go on there. It's a little pricey, catch it on sale, and get after it, man. But it's good clothing. And then second, guys, if you got time, check out my new book, Keep It Rolling. It's a motivational book, and it covers a lot of different things that just make sure if you don't be a victim, be the warrior. All right. And with that being said, Andrea Clark, she's at Crunch Gym, guys, in the morning on Fridays about 5 a.m. And you catch her, she will grind and put you through the ringer, man, because I'm going to tell you, her class is no joke. So do not go in there thinking you're going to walk in there and just have it easy, because she don't care. She don't care. She wants to make sure you have results.
That's right.
Andrea, I appreciate you coming out. Thank you so much.
Bye, Coach. Thank you so much.